Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best point guards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this tier list. We got about 27-ish of the best point guards in MyTEAM on this list, and excited to rank these cards and see how good the point guard position is really looking right now in the MyTEAM. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it, and let's start off with the first PG on this list, which is Mr. Alex Caruso. Brand new card, very good card. I do believe he's A tier. I think he's as good as any other, like pretty much, well, I think he's about as good as any viable point guard in my team, to be honest. Truly a top tier option, or pretty close anyway. Defensively elite, amazing slasher, very complete stats and badges, and animation wise also super solid. Curry slide, good dribble style, solid all around SIGs and animations, honestly. A decent release. Just a really good card. Really a big fan of what Caruso can do on the court, and I think he's at 100% A tier. I think he's one of the best point guards in the game, legitimately, despite being only a pink diamond. AI is obviously, like, he's fun to use, but he's just too small to really be elite. I don't think his animations are quite top tier either. He's just such a small PG, though, at 6 foot. I think that's really his biggest flaw. The position is very, very deep, and I just think with how many good point guards there are, a guy like AD struggles, or like AI struggles to compete. I believe Austin Reeves, because of his offensive ability, is still an S tier PG. He is one of the best scorers in the game at the point guard spot. Does a ton of things really, really well on the offensive end of the court, and defensively, he certainly is not bad at all either. Definitely a big, big fan of Reeves. I think he's 100% S tier. I think he's top 5 PG in the game for sure. Brad Beal is good. I don't like him as much as Caruso, honestly. Defensively, he's not great. His SIGs could be a little better. Stat and badge wise, he's great, and he's got pretty good animations, but I don't know. He could definitely be a little bit better than he is on the defensive end, feel a little bigger. I don't know. He's just not that great. He's good, but nothing special. I think B tier is fair. Cade Cunningham is probably the best point guard in the game. His one flaw is that he doesn't fade very well, but he's a very good defensive point guard with a lot of size, an elite release, Trey escape, really good SIGs, just very complete stats and badges as well. In my opinion, he's the best point guard in the game right now. I think he's S tier. Damian Lillard, very mediocre SIGs, very undersized point guard. When you look at the best point guards in the game, he's lucky to crack the C tier, in all honesty. I almost want to put him D. Compared to the best of the best, he's just not that good at this point, and I think C tier is a very fair spot. Darren Williams is probably B. If he could slash at a slightly higher level, I think I would be a bit higher on him, probably a tier higher, because he does have really good animations, a nice release. The first pink diamond of the year to get his animations changed from what they were on his previous card, which is very, very nice. And he's not a bad card at all. He's very usable, very, very solid at the PG spot. He's just not, I don't think, top tier, especially because of his lack of elite level SIGs. I mean, the card could certainly be better in my mind. I don't hate him, but I think like mid to low B tier is the highest I can put him because his SIGs are really good, but he's undersized, not the best slasher. Allen D-Book is he better than Darren Williams? I don't even know. I think he's B tier as well. His offense is insane, but defensively, he's very mediocre. He is 6'5", so he's got okay size, but he's certainly not the greatest defender in the world. He could be a little bit better as a slasher as well, probably, but obviously an elite level shooter, one of the best fades in the game, one of the best shots in the game. Amazing offensive card still. Definitely, I still think a very usable point guard, and I think a B tier is pretty fair. I think D-Wade is really good. I don't love his release. That definitely keeps him at S tier, but I'll put him A, and I'm happy about it. I think he's a good card. A tier is pretty fair, honestly. Very, very solid option. I go super solidly A tier for him. I honestly think Dyson Daniels probably goes very back of A as well. It's because of the defense that he is as high as he is. Because he's 6'7" and really versatile defensively. His SIGs could definitely be better. But the size and the defense is valuable. His release is really smooth and easy. I think A tier is pretty fair. Back of A, yes, but still a very, very solid card. Jalen Green, mediocre. Release could certainly be better. I don't think he's great. I think there's a lot of better point guards on this list. I think C tier is pretty fair. Harden isn't S to me, but I think he is A. Offensively, he's phenomenal. He's 6'5" with a pretty bulky player build that definitely helps him out on the defensive end of the court. Card does a lot of things well. Wish he was better defensively. That's his biggest flaw. I think A tier is pretty fair. J Kidd is also going to go A tier. I have a feeling the A tier is going to be pretty big. I'm not going to lie, because we have a lot of good point guards still on this list, but J Kidd can't not go A tier for me. Kyrie dribble style, elite defender. Yes, he's a little undersized, but I think he's very similar as an overall card to Alex Caruso, in all honesty. They do very similar things, and I think they're both A-tier guys. John Wall, I'm going B for him. His release is almost too fast, and his SIGs are really good. He's a good defender. He does a lot of things well. I don't know. His release is the one thing that kind of throws me off there, and I don't think he's quite as good as the guys above. I mean, I will say him and Dyson Daniels is a weird one, because on paper he's better than Dyson, but I think his release is a little bit of a challenge. Defensively, he's definitely a very good defender, but I don't know. I think B tier is probably fair. Dyson, though, I'm actually going to move to B as well, because I think he's not quite. His SIGs aren't good enough. He's so good defensively. He's very usable, but his SIGs just aren't good enough, in my opinion. Kyrie. I mean, he moves well and he's fun to use, but his release is not that great, and he's only, 6'2"? He's very small. I'm sorry. I think he's got to go D. I understand he's an opal, but is he better than a Damian Lillard? Honestly, I don't know if the answer to that is yes. Honestly, I kind of want to move Dame down to D as well. I might wind up moving Dame to D, but for right now, I think I'll leave him C, but I think this is pretty fair. Lonzo's going S because of his size and his defense. D-book dribble style as well. Does move pretty well. Not a good escape, but outside of that, he's a very solid card. Release is nice and smooth, pretty quick, and he's the best defensive point guard probably in the game, or at least near the top of the list. Phenomenal card. I'm definitely going S tier for him. By the way, Lonzo, that just reminded me. Denny Avdia. I forgot to put Denny on this list. 6'9" point guard. He's a primary small forward. I think that might be why I missed him, but he's 6'9". He'd be B tier. His defense is good. His size is great, and he does have pretty good shooting badges, but certain areas about that card is a little bit lacking. So if you were wondering about him, he'd be B tier. Outside of that, if there's anybody I left off the list, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll let you know where I'd put the card. I think Luka goes B, 6'7", good defender, yes. Great offensive stats and badges, too. I just don't think his animations are that great. Release is kind of slow. He's not an insane slasher. SIG is certainly not top tier, but great size, a lot of versatility, still very good card. I'm going to go B. Mac McClung, he's too small, but he's got good SIGs and good animations. I like the card. He's 6'2", though, with a really small player build. I'm going to be honest, I'm too high on Darren Williams, though, animation-wise. He's not on the level of the guys in B tier, so I'm moving him down as well. And I am moving Dame down as well. I think that's fair. So we're going to, this evens it out a little bit, and I feel like it makes it a little bit more accurate to put Darren Williams down a tier as well as Dame down a tier. MJ does go S tier. Yes, as 100 overall and with insane animations, but his release isn't that good. It's just not. Like, there's a lot of releases on this list better than MJ's release. He just has perfect SIGs, perfect animations, perfect stats and badges, and I still think we're at the point early enough in the year where him not having a good enough release because everything else is basically perfect still makes him one of the best point guards in the game. But definitely a disappointing card, at least for 100 overall, is MJ. Mitch Richmond is really good shooter. And he's capable defensively as well, but like he's not special. He's not an elite defender. He's not insane as a shot creator. He's a good card, but he's not an unbelievable one. B tier is very fair. Another B tier guy is Oscar Robertson. 6'5", defends well, does a lot of things on the court well, nice release, good all-around card, capable slasher, all that type of stuff, but he's just not great enough to crack a really high tier in my opinion. So we're going to go A for him, or B for him. I think I go A for Penny. I really want to go S, but his release just isn't quite good enough for me to do it. I would love to put him in the S tier, but it doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. So I think I'm going to go A for him right there. Pete Maravich stinks. He's going D tier. His release sucks, and he's 6'5" and not super athletic. Maybe only 6'4" as well. He's not big. He's not huge. He's not super athletic. He's not an incredible defender, and his release is really not that good this year. He's not a very good card. I'm going to go D tier for him. I think SGA, here's the thing. SGA versus Caruso versus Penny. Like, those are the guys that I'm thinking for S tier. I almost want to put Caruso S tier. He's so good. He's got a movable enforcer. He actually dribbles well. I'm putting SGA S tier because he's 6'6" and so versatile and so complete. Nice release. Really good card. Does a ton of things well. He's going to get my last S tier spot, but it was very close. Moncrief goes A tier. He, Caruso, and Kidd are very similar cards, all slightly undersized, but phenomenal defensive point guards who are pretty good offensively as well. Caruso is definitely very solid. Sorry, I think Caruso is the best of the bunch, but Moncrief is another very good card. Really good free reward at the point guard position, so A tier for him as well. Tyrese Halliburton's release isn't very good. He is like 6'4", 6'5", so he's got pretty okay size, but I just don't think his release is very good. SIGs are pretty good, but overall he's not that great. Tyrese Maxey's actually pretty good. Like, you could argue him B tier actually, and I don't know if I'd even disagree with you. Like, he's a legitimately solid card, but I do think to even out the list a little bit, it's probably fair to put him C. If I was moving anybody else down, it'd probably be D-Book. In fact, I am going to move D-Book down just that one little smidge, and I think I'm going to leave the list like this for right now. So I hope y'all did enjoy the video. I'd be very interested to hear y'all's thoughts on my list, and if you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.